it's a funny thing, because over the weekend I was wondering to myself, does the NHL have some kind of private roster freeze when it comes to All-Star Weekend, where it's not an official roster freeze, but it's kind of respected that All-Star festivities take precedent, that nothing will happen to overshadow it, nothing will deviate from what's going on in Columbus. That's the focal point, yada, yada, yada. In my own mind, I think it's kind of an unspoken rule. Today, we're catching wind that we were like this close, and I'm holding my left index finger and thumb like an inch apart. We were like this close to like some blockbuster. We don't even know the particulars. Here's what we know. Mike Richards of the Los Angeles Kings, at 29 years of age, a two-time Stanley Cup winner, a guy who was part of the gold medal winning Canadian team in Vancouver, has been placed on waivers. He'll be there for 24 hours. If he clears, he heads to the Monarchs, and it's a salary that now the Kings cannot hide. That's in the new CBA, or the not-so-new CBA. You can't just stash a contract in the minors and have it not count against the cap. That thing will count against the cap. It's about $5.7 million in averages out to on Mike Richards. So Mike Richards has been placed on waivers. Frege has it. Bob has it. All the heavy hitters have it. So we're also catching wind from NHL radio on Sirius XM that the LA Kings, within the last 24 and 48 hours, have been to the wall on some serious talks with people regarding none other than Mike Richards. And this move, by placing him on waivers today, its sole purpose is to just let people know publicly, if they didn't already know around the National Hockey League, you're going to have Mike Richards. Now, here's what we also know about Mike Richards, which is the number one trending topic in Canada. One, he's won some stuff. 2 of the last 3 cups. I'm not saying he was the central point in those victories for the LA Kings, nor with Canada's gold medal winning effort in Vancouver, but the fact is he was there. Fact 2, he's under 30. Fact 3, he is on pace for his worst statistical offensive season of his National Hockey League career. He's got 5 goals. The worst he's ever done, I believe, is 11. So there is a reason Mike Richards is being shopped. His performance is one. The salary left on this thing is the other. He is signed through the 2020 campaign, and after this year, I'm not including this year, after this year, Mike Richards on the deal is still owed $22 million. That's a lot of money for a guy who can't break 10 goals, which right now he is. Could that change? Obviously it could change. So Mike Richards is placed on waivers, and everyone's like, what? And I don't want to start linking things unnecessarily, but I'm sitting here for 3 hours, so if you don't like it, you can change. But the Toronto Maple Leafs have been linked to the Kings for a very, very long time. Hockey people way smarter than I will tell you that. So it's interesting to me in the midst of this All-Star weekend where I thought a lot of teams just kind of respected the NHL space and made this about the league. We were that close to just a bomb going off with the reigning Stanley Cup champion LA Kings. And it could still happen. Somebody may call them in the next 24 hours, pull them off waivers, which they can do at any time. Deal. So Mike Richards is there to be had. If you are up against the salary cap, you need to be creative with this. Dave Nonis would have to be creative with this. Any team up against it would have to be creative with this. If I can make the numbers work, I give this guy a shot. This guy's won a lot of things over the last little while. I'm big on guys winning. That kind of matters to me. You know? Like you saw the Blue Jays do it this offseason. All the guys they brought in recently have done one thing, kind of won. They're on teams that don't suck. They win. They win. Now, didn't work with Dave Bolin, but whatever. These things happen. He got sliced at the ankle, and it was a thing. So it doesn't always work. But I'd like, he's under 30. I'd give this guy a shot. If I have the cap space on Mike Richards, I give him a shot. I make sure he has, like, security following around at night. Mike Richards enjoys himself, but don't they all? They're young professionals. They're young men. Let them have their fun. But the Leafs are going to have to get very creative here. Numbers-wise, any NHL team is going to have to get very creative numbers-wise to make this work. 5.7 million cap hit. Million cap hit. There was a story over the weekend. If the Canadian dollar stays at 80 cents and 82 cents, It means like a difference between a $71 million cap next year or 72. It's at 68 or 69. The Leafs are getting no relief. No other cap team's getting any real relief. So if Mike Richards is pulled off waivers in the next 24 hours, and if he is moved, this is going to involve some names and overpriced names to make the math add up. Ooh, could get juicy. I take a shot at Mike Richards. Why would I? Because why the hell not? Why the hell not? If I'm shedding you some contracts I don't like, I'll do that in a second. You shake it up, you bring in a guy who's won something, and you get rid of some of what you consider dead weight in the process. Now, I'm obviously leaping some hurdles here prematurely, and I don't mean to do that, but you can't tell me Mike Richards is the #1 trending topic in Canada and people aren't looking at the blue and white. You can't tell me people aren't listening to what some insiders have been saying on this station for a very long time regarding Mike Richards and the Leafs and not put 2 and 2 together and come up with 4. I guarantee you right now in the Leafs front office, it is a buzzsaw of activity. Buzzsaw. And I'm not talking about Phil Kessel's return from All-Star Weekend because that was going to be a shindig. Now it's going to be something else. We'll see. Also, to remind you, the Leafs have lost 9 of 10. Just so we remember what's been going on there. I know it's a while since last Wednesday and Ottawa in that first period. Leafs have lost 9 of 10. And the number gets more hilarious the further back you go. I would not fault the Leafs 1 iota for making a move. If this is Dave Nonis, though, I would pump the brakes on it in a second. That's my other issue with the Leafs. If Dave Nonis is still running point on this, I got a big-time issue with that. Because I guarantee you one thing. Dave Nonis, check the date, by January 26th, 2016, will not be GM of that team. Nope. Because they're not going to make the playoffs, and Shanahan's going to use the other bullet in his gun. Used one on Carlisle. Nonis gets the next one.